I have 3 days in Barcelona, and here's how I spent day 3. We started at Casa Batlló at 11:30 a.m. There was already quite a line and a lot of people there, but I think you're probably gonna run into that at any point of day. All ticket levels come with an audio guide, but then our tickets were gold, and then that also came with a virtual reality tablet, which was so helpful. I really liked listening to the history behind each room and then being able to look down at the tablet and see what the rooms looked like furnished, and also all of the features that they kind of pulled into it. As I've kind of mentioned in other videos, I did a lot of preparations for Paris and had a full itinerary for us, whereas I didn't know much about Barcelona before going, but my brother is studying here, so we left some open gaps in our schedule where we could just fit in random things. But I wish I had done more research ahead of time, so feel free to use all of my videos as research and inspo for your future trips. The rooftop is called the Dragon's Rooftop, and they have some Gaudi mosaics up here which are very similar to mosaic benches that you'll see at Parkway. At the end of the museum they have this immersive room called the Gaudi Cube. You go in for like 3 minutes and see all of this digital artwork. From here we walked over to a lunch place, and I ended up getting the weirdest order of food. So my fruit came in a cup of orange juice. It was actually pretty good, and then I got a little bit of steak, but just seeing it plated out like that looked so funny. This was a tapas restaurant, which is pretty common in Spain, so all of the portions are mini size. So actually this was 2 orders of steak. At this point my brother headed off to class, and my parents and I headed to the metro to go see Sagrada Familia. I was actually so worried about pickpockets ahead of this trip. It ended up being fine as long as you just kind of pay attention to your things. And I've always wanted to get this escalator shot, so I was determined. I still did that, but just made my parents intensely guard my phone and grab it as soon as we got to the top of the escalator. One thing about me is I love to do laundry, even though I do not have a washer dryer in my apartment, but there was one in the Airbnb, so I figured I would knock doing my delicates out of the way so I do not need to do that in a laundromat once I get back to the city. And after a short rest at the Airbnb, we were back out to meet my brother at dinner, and as I was looking out the window of the taxi on the way there, I realized there were so many stores we were passing that I wanted to go to, so I got out in the middle of the road to pop into some of these stores while my parents went over to check in at the restaurant. I love a good home store. At this point I was definitely late for dinner, so I made my way over to the steakhouse, and then we got caught in a torrential downpour. We said goodbye to my brother and then made our way back to the Airbnb for our last night.